good afternoon again on this beautiful Tuesday. Oh my gosh, the fall's so beautiful, and it's so wonderful to start seeing the balloons in the air again. But welcome to the Inclusive Excellence Council meeting today. And we have a great agenda, and I'm going to just start off here. We'll start off with our land acknowledgement, and Roberta Zayas is going to read this for us today.
Hi, good morning. I'll go ahead and begin the land acknowledgement. Founded in 1889, the University of New Mexico sits on the traditional homelands of the Pueblo of Sandia, the original peoples of New Mexico, Pueblo, Navajo, and Apache. Since time immemorial, have deep connections to the land and have made significant contributions to the border communities statewide. We honor the land itself and those who remain stewards of this land throughout the generations. Also acknowledge our committed relationships with the Indigenous people. We gratefully recognize our history.
Thank you very much, Roberta. Roberta's our program manager in the Office for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. Thank you, Roberta. So I just love taking the moment and just really feeling like very grounded and appreciative in reading that. So thank you again, Roberta. And our next piece here, I know Allie's going to share the agenda in the chat, just so everyone will have it now that people are, we have everyone here. And we're going to next hear from Dr. Zidonis, who's joining us here today. And I believe, let me just make sure he's on board here. Oh, there you are, Dr. Zidonis. So we're going to hear from Dr. Zidonis today about the Health Equity Summit and some strategic planning and our climate survey, but we're looking forward to your updates here, Dr. Zidonis. Thank you.
Great. Well, first, just thank you all for the great work you're doing, so important, and we're really appreciative of the impact that you're making. So thank you for that. I thought I would share on two items, and then I have some slides to talk about strategic planning. I do think that all of the work that you're doing in your local units, as well as for DEI across all of health and health sciences, is critical and will be an important part of our strategic plan. So I'm hoping all your voices are heard. First, I wanted to start with the Health Equity Summit. It was on Monday and Tuesday of last week. We had over 300 voices from the community join us, and it was a fabulous event. So lots of kudos to many of you on this call, as well as Lisa Kakari-Stone for her leadership. We got rave reviews on it for those who were attended. The community really thought that their voice was being heard. And as you remember, we had many health equity dialogues across the state and conversations. Those included Hobbs, Las Cruces, and Gallup, and Chama, and Santa Fe, and Taos, as well as in Albuquerque here, and phone calls with people in different parts of the state that weren't in those areas. And all of that led to the formatting and structure, including the 12 action labs that were active. And I attended the whole day and a half myself. I thought it was very enriching and rewarding, and hearing the voices was really important. I'm going to take a pause in a minute and ask others that I know who attended, like Mike and JP and Melissa. There's probably others also on this call who attended. I'll open it up to see if they have any feedback beyond what I said. But we had people like from Western Sky, who is part of our health plan. They came in from St. Louis. They said, Doug, I'm not just saying this because you're sitting next to me, but I thought this would just be kind of more perfunctory. This was amazing. I've never seen an academic health center across the nation do the kind of work that I am seeing in this room here, with people really engaging, and how the community was involved in the process. There'll be a report from Lisa Kakari-Stone to summarize the action labs and what activities occurred. Some of this is on video if you weren't able to see it yourself. Dr. Rhonda McGee gave a terrific presentation around mindfulness and social justice, and also a good discussion after her presentation. But why don't I open it up, JP, Mike, Melissa, anybody else who was there to maybe add a few flavors.
So thanks, Dr. Ziodonis. I agree. It was a very impactful 2 days. You know, one of the things that really struck me after it was all over was that this was really an opportunity for discussion and dialogue, and we didn't do this in kind of the more traditional academic, you know, conference way. There was not a lot of PowerPoints with folks with, you know, professor in their title standing up in front of the group delivering information from our perspective. Probably and I think that connects to two of the things that you kind of have mentioned that really resonated with the audience. One is that it was a great opportunity for someone like me to sit and listen, and to kind of hear the perspective of the folks who are actually doing this equity and inclusion work every single day out in the community, to hear it from their perspective, to hear the details of what they are doing, and to also watch them connect how the various components of it could be linked together in a more synergistic way, and how the university could be there to support that, you know, from a position of better understanding it from the perspective of the people who are actually doing the frontline work. Thank you.
Thank you.
I would just add to what Mike had mentioned. It was very interactive, and although one of the sessions I went to is on diversifying our workforce, because of the interactive nature, I met the director of education for the Roadrunner Food Bank, and we just started talking about how to cook healthy cuisine, Hispanic cuisine during Hispanic Heritage Month, and their efforts to put out recipes. And so I think we're going to recruit her to come speak to our students, but I think I'm going to go to the Roadrunner Food Bank so she can help me learn how to cook. So it was just, I think when it had a lot of good interactive components. So excellent work, everyone.
I'll just chime in to say I felt the same way about it. And it was really a wonderful opportunity to get to know people and to delve deeply into some of these issues. And one of my takeaways was somewhat like JP's, where I met someone who is doing a project called Mamacitas Cyberneticas, where they're going to do a assessment of information literacy skills of people on the border region. And they had not been able to get funding for that project, so I connected them to a funding source. So I thought that was a really good outcome for me anyway from the conference, and just getting to know some additional people there. It was a really, really fun event. I'm so glad that I was able to attend.
I would also add that I felt that, there was a panel discussion that was just really powerful from people around the state, and Regis Pecos, of course, you know, he was the moderating, absolutely, you know, what an amazing order, and just knowledgeable, and it was just very powerful. And I understood, I was not there for the evening dialogues, and I guess there were some little quick videos that were, I heard, extremely powerful, and I understand a lot of that will again be put on the website. There is a website for the Health Equity Summit, you know, as Dr. Ziodonis mentioned, where we can find a lot of the information setting the stage for this, and then the reports and other things will be there. So very powerful.
Great, thank you. Well, more will be talked about. There'll be also a follow-up in probably about 2 months, where we're going to invite people who attended to keep the action items going. Some of it might influence the government relations, the legislative session, which there was a lot of interest on. So if you were able to attend, terrific. I know we had some conflicts with the UNM hospital system was at Vizient, and some other activities that drew some people away, but you know, this is just an ongoing dialogue that all of you will be contributing to. So thank you. I'm going to share a little bit about strategic planning. I presented this to the Board of Regents last week, and so you're the second group to get that. Can you do screen sharing so I can share?
Sure, Ally will get that going here for you in a second.
Right.
You
Thank
should
you.
be able to.
Okay, I can do it now. Thank you. Thank you. So, going to. Okay, can you see that screen?
Yes,
Okay. So,
but Doug, can you put it in presentation mode where it's just the one big slide? It's
I'm
showing
trying.
a lot of, oh yeah, maybe it's,
Is it showing
it's
one slide or many slides?
yeah, it's showing many things plus your document recovery. If you go to slideshow at the very top, you can do it that way too. And we could still see it too, it just was smaller. So if you can't do it, that's fine. I know you can go at the top slideshow and then do it from the current slide. Oh, that's interesting. Yours is doing something wonky today. We'll just keep going.
All right, well.
Okay, yeah, we can see that big slide there.
Okay. You can see this, today's conversation?
Yes, uh-huh.
Okay. Does it show you now this UNM 2040 opportunity defined?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So this is from what you all know as our UNM 2040 with the whole campus. And we can see inclusive excellence is our one specific goal out of 5. And of course, advanced New Mexico, which includes the health system and research becoming innovation, entrepreneurship, the students, sustainability, which is people, and finance, and the one university. There'll be opportunities for all of you to be involved, both as a work group, and Val, we might be able to organize it where the Deloitte as a consulting firm would meet with the IEC in addition to other forums. I think your voice would be important that way. So maybe as a work group, we'll have town halls and everybody will be able to say something through the online anonymous survey and also through using idea scale for crowdsourcing. And both of those technologies we used for UNM 2040. Up to now, I had a small team here that helped put together the request for proposals. It was posted. We went through the usual process and the selection was Deloitte. The timeline, things started last week in a very pre-launch way. We're going to have the kickoff next week at some point where it'll become, people will know what you're learning today. And then it's a 6-month process. This one slide covers it all. So I can, Val, drop this into the chat when we're done because this is a pretty full slide. You can see over here is the pre-launch activities that we're now doing. Kickoff meeting is going to be next week. There's and this is in weeks on the top. So you can see the first 2 months, a lot of stakeholder interviews, gathering material. We're going to be looking at our facility plan that we currently have and integrating from the health system as well as health sciences. And we're going to also look at our current state of assessment of, I moved that over. What our current strategic plans have looked like. So you can look at this in more detail, but this is the 6-month process. we have a plan to engage stakeholders, administrators, clinicians, community, faculty, students, staff, in all the different ways I just described. This is the model with which Deloitte starts their structure. And this might be the kind of questions they would ask the IEC in succession, some of the sort of lob it up questions. So that's basically the strategic planning. There'll be more details coming, but I want to make sure your group all knew, so you could possibly be a work group to talk to in a conversation, as well as you'll have many other inputs into whatever unit you're in. Now, these have been some of our critical healthcare system issues: workforce expansion, development, retention, and support. I know you all think a lot about that. How do we provide healthcare, and what's the link with public health, social determinants of health, adverse childhood events, community-based work, as well as our clinical health. We've looked at a lot of ways we think about workforce expansion and retention, other professions, expanding our diversity, the number of providers, how do we keep people in the state, particularly in rural areas, and some of the licensure and credentialing issues. These I just share because I shared there, and I share this with our CEO leaders. You know, what are the critical healthcare system trends, and how is that going to fit into our strategic planning? Patient-centered healthcare, virtual health, ambulatory, in-home healthcare, value-based, and healthcare driven by data, medical technologies, data sharing, interoperability, private-public partnerships, fragmented services, and behavioral health. So I'm going to stop at this point and see if there's any questions about that, but just know that, you know, we appreciate all your input into this process, and we want to make sure every voice in our health and health sciences could express themselves if they want to.
Thank you, Dr. Zaidonis. Any questions? I'm just scanning for our hands up, or people, please go ahead and speak out.
Great. Feel free to reach out to me directly if you have a question. And my last
Dr.
quick
Zaidonis?
Yeah.
Oh, you were going to share that. We'll also share the PowerPoint or certain slides.
Yeah, I'll drop it.
And we can send that out. Okay.
Yeah, I'll drop it into the chat.
Okay,
and my last comment is just thank you, Val, for your leadership on the HSC, and by that I mean health and health sciences wide climate survey. So I appreciate each unit will be thinking through how that's best done. But my hope is that we can get as much input and as many voices heard on this important issue, because I do think people want to express themselves in this critical matter. So keep up the good work, and I'll mute myself.
Thank you, Dr. Zaidonis, for those important updates and your discussion about the upcoming climate survey as well, which we'll talk a little bit about today. Right now, we're going to go into our section on our announcements, as well as some additional updates. So want to thank a couple people for their service on Inclusive Excellence Council. So Dr. Magafma Duenya has graduated from her OBGYN residency, like very happy and excited for her, and you know, having moved on, but she was serving as our inaugural resident fellow at large representative, and really just want to congratulate her and thank her for her service with us, and her time again with us throughout medical school and residency here. So congratulations to her. And then we also have Daniel Hayek, who was has been our inaugural health professions student representative. And he's going to be graduating now from the PA program. So come October 1st, and providing care again to all of us, maybe some of us. And we want to congratulate Daniel and again, thank him for his service. So very appreciative of that. And Allie, did you want to just share the plans moving forward too on that?
Sure. Well, there's not too much to share yet. Just a reminder that at-large representatives serve 2-year terms currently on the IEC. And so we're starting to think about just the process moving forward. It's been about 1.5 years. So in late fall and beginning of the new year, you'll start to hear about that process for receiving applications for new at-large members.
Thank you very much, Allie. And I know Dr. Sanchez is helping in that process as well, so thank you. And right now, just open it up for the next few minutes for any other announcements and updates. I know today we're not having our formal committee report outs, but if there have been some meetings and people want to share a couple of brief important points, please do so now. This would be our time to do that. And I believe I know Dr. Smart has something she wants to share, and then others, please.
Yes, I am wanting to share that we had rolled out from the IEC Workforce Development Subcommittee a workforce development needs assessment. I just took a peek and we're up to 102 respondents, but I'm hoping to expand that, just taking a look at the groups that are missing. I'm really missing, or we are really missing, the ancillary staff. So I am dropping the link to the survey in the chat in just a minute, and for you all to take a moment to complete it if you haven't yet, but also to consider maybe sharing the link or sharing some names with me and emails for folks who might be in food services, security, patient care coordinators, parking, those services that really support everything that we are able to do on campus. I want to make sure that the survey is reaching their voice as well. So I will take any connections as possible. I'll do a personal reach out to whomever you share names of, and see if we can get the survey into as many inboxes as possible. So thank you. That's my one update. Very excited about the data. Our group will be looking at it and making sense of it in the next few months, but really appreciate your efforts in getting the word out.
Thank you. Really appreciate it. Thanks a lot. And that's great already, that number, but it's good to know and where we can continue to reach out and ask for that feedback. So thank you for that. Other updates and announcements. And you guys can just please, Angela, your
Hi.
hand up.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. I'm going to be representing the University of New Mexico at the AAMC GREAT meeting, which takes place in Chicago next month. No, actually leaving Thursday, and they're going to have we're going to present the appropriate treatment of research trainees. It's a document that was developed by a committee on which I was one of the members, and it is being rolled out and recommended to academic institutions nationally. And so at the meeting, we're going to talk about institutions that are already implementing the recommendations or some model that this is based on. And Dr. Resta is working on the rollout with Dr. Ziadonis at the University of New Mexico.
Thank you for sharing that. That's exciting. Yes, you're already about to leave in just another couple days. So thank you. That sounds really exciting too. So look forward to hearing more about that, Angela. Thank you. Others with updates, announcements. I'm trying to scan here for hands or anything, but please, if you have something to say, go ahead and you can speak out now.
Hi, Dr. Romero-Leggett. This is Fabian. Just one quick update. Next week, Crystal Rios, who is the manager of interpreter services, and I we've been asked to present on our American Sign Language services that we provide here at UNM Hospital to the Healthcare Interpreter Network. So it's one of the vendors that we use to offer language services to our patients, but they are impressed with that robust program that we have here at UNM Hospital. So we'll be presenting on that. We're excited to do that, and we'll do our best to make us look good. But that's just one update that we have going on here at the hospital.
Great. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to go into the next, we're going to keep going into the next section. And again, we have, as you can tell in our agenda, a really special presentation as well from Dr. Salazar here at the, toward the second half of our meeting today. So I want to make sure we leave time have the time for that. So the next piece will just be a very quick update. And I think Allie's just going to pull up a slide. If we have one, I don't know if we do, but I'm just going to reiterate, I think, information we've heard together in terms of our climate survey coming up. I want to thank we launched our climate assessment working group, which is essentially our IEC members. So I really want to thank you for showing up and being here and really helping us get the word out and giving that really important feedback to the group and to our incredible vendors, which are Ranking Climate. So we had our first meeting on September 12th, in which at that meeting we had really robust and very important conversations about the focus groups that will be happening. There will be 20 of them on November 14th, and everyone will be hearing more about that, and we'll be getting the word out on those. And then come December through March, the survey will be being developed, informed by the focus groups, and then we'll be launching in April, kind of the end of March, April time, we'll be launching the survey. So just to keep in mind that, what's coming up, and again, to thank you all for your leadership and your engagement here and us moving this forward, which I think, again, would be very important for us as a Health Sciences Center in not only finding those gaps and creating our action items from that and informing our strategic planning, but also celebrating those things that we're doing well. So thank you all for that. Okay, so Dr. Sanchez, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Romero-Legate. So we just have a couple of slides. As you all know, we're going into another cycle of Heritage Month activities, and I want to thank everyone's contributions. Hispanic Heritage Month is September 15th to October 15th. The upcoming events, as you can see here, is Loteria, which is October 3rd. And then October 4th is taking care of the next generation of Latino adolescents. As a part of the first event, Loteria, we're excited. We're going to raffle off some free tickets to the New Mexico United soccer game on October 5th. And that's an incorrect time. I believe it starts at 7:30. So my apologies for that. So if you're interested in joining us, please come out and play Loteria and get a raffle ticket. Next slide. And there's a whole host of events. These are just two of many of the events listed for Hispanic Heritage Month. As you know, we're going to continue the tradition of Los Primeros, where we honor the first Latina, Latino, Latinx, Latine, Hispanic, or of Spanish origin leader at HSC. And there's 3 individuals that we'll be honoring during the noon session on October 14th. Carla Cordova, Renee Ayala, and Veronica Plaza. And I just want to give them special thanks for their leadership at the institution. So come out and join us on October 14th from 12 to 1. And you could register on the HSC celebrations page. Next slide. As you also know, Disability Heritage Month starts October 1st, and we're quickly planning a couple of events. But if you are hosting an event in honor of Disability Heritage Month, please let myself know and Jose Rodriguez so we can help advertise and ensure the best possible turnout, as well as Native American Heritage Month starts November 1st. So please continue to send us information so we can host it on the HSC Celebrations webpage. Next slide. And just to give an update on the DEI historical report, I want to thank you. We continue to receive updated information for this first ever report representing DEI efforts across HSC over the decades. We most recently received information from CINA and OCH, the Office of Community Health, and we've integrated that along with the narratives provided by the other entities. Sarah Mota from our Office of Health and Health Sciences Marketing has created an initial draft of the great work, complemented by photos and charts. And thank you again, Sarah, for that. And we're currently revising it and having a follow-up meeting with Sarah this week so we could finalize the document. So I want to thank everyone for their contributions and their patience. And I think that's it, Dr. Romero.
Great. Thank you so much, Dr. Sanchez, as well, for all of the work and again, for the contributions from everyone here and your different entities and organizations. Any questions so far or comments? Okay, well, we're going to go right into this very exciting part of our presentation today. We're going to have Dr. Krista Dominguez Salazar share with us about how College of Pharmacy is really using art in a very unique way right now to build a space of belonging and also creating authentic conversations about equity and inclusion between staff and students and faculty. And when I was talking to Krista about this before, we were having a conversation and this came up and she was telling me about it. And I really appreciated and I loved as I learned about this initiative and this event, because to me, it was really talking a lot about the way that art is both celebrated and shared as another important part of our identities. So I just really appreciated and wanted her to share with us. And I think between HISLIC and some other people, other conversations have kind of come up about something that maybe we can be doing more HSD wide. So really excited, Krista, to have you here today sharing with us and to, congratulate you and Dean Godwin and your wonderful College of Pharmacy for this. So I'm going to turn it over to you and thank you very much.
Hi, Val. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you so much for inviting me to share this with our group. I'm hoping everybody can see a slide that says Pathfinding at the Intersection of Art and DEAI. I see your thumbs up, Val. So in order to be able to see my presentation, I'm going to minimize everybody. So if anybody has anything to say, please just feel free to just start talking, interrupt me. I'm okay with that because I won't be able to see you.
And Krista, just a minute. I just want to make sure. Can everyone hear Krista? Because I know to me it's like a little tinny, a little far away, but we can hear you. It's just not real loud.
Darn. Huh. Is this better?
Oh, that's better. That's better.
Hooray.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for saying something. You know what happened is I had to post it over my mic. So
I wonder. There we go. Okay.
Little piece of paper
Good.
made such a big difference. All right. So really excited to get to share with you all what the College of Pharmacy is doing. Just like Val shared with you all that the purpose of us doing it was an exhibit called All Things Art at the College of Pharmacy. It was just to build a space of belonging and create a conversation about equity and inclusion with staff and faculty, and we hope to move this into the students someday. The setting that this took place in was the day for Staff Appreciation Day, and it was at the Dominici Center, and I think we're calling it Dominici South in the foyer. And we did a poetry reading to begin the session, and then it was just amazing because to make it extra special, the Dean Godwin got an ice cream truck to come in. And so I think it just really brought out the kid in all of us because we were all super excited to go and get ice cream from the ice cream truck and then to get to go see the art that was portrayed by everybody. So initially, call went out to the staff and faculty maybe about a month before the event, and we made a call for all things art. And we specified that anything can be art. And that's exactly what it is that we got. So I'm going to show you all pictures of what was presented. We got pictures that Jose has taken in his day of activism, and he's an artist in his photography. We got somebody who was presenting on their needle point, and scrapbooking, woodworking, and painting, Somebody brought in pictures of their garden, as you can see here, and then it was Pavan, he made floral arrangements out of the flowers that he grows in his garden. So this was just so exciting to see because it was truly all things art. Dean Godwin's son presented his art. He does ceramics and so many other incredible works of art. I don't remember what this is called, but I remember the process that he described to me, and it's just absolutely amazing. It's etched metal. And then somebody else presented paintings and shared stories with me about her making in pottery. And what I learned here is this is Navajo pottery, and in her work that she does and in her culture, there are always two holes in pottery, one for what comes in and what comes out. So I thought that was really an interesting learning experience. Another bit of art, this was shared to me that this was passed on from this individual's, it's Dominique that presented this. This art was passed on from her aunt. She used to make art like this, and now Dominique makes it. There was a demonstration on how to tie a fly and fly fishing, and that was from Barry and Seth. And then Dr. Ludmila Bakriva, she is a painter. She paints using oils and incredibly talented, as you can see here. And this is our facilities manager. This is Jeff Kleeman. He does pottery. I tried to talk him into also sharing a picture of him flying a plane because he is a licensed pilot, but he said that wasn't much of an art, and we're still disagreeing on that because I think it's an amazing art and skill. This is my chair, and we had somebody who also shared their cream for us. This you can see the business card that she uses. It's a pain cream, and she calls it Pain No More with the gnome as her icon. And then some crocheting. And the story that was passed on to me here was these items that you see here in the middle. I hope you see my mouse moving around, but these are items that CJ's mom made. And so this was an art form that her mom passed on to her that she does now. Here are some pictures of awards that she's won at fair competitions at the New Mexico State Fair. This is another artist that was showing all of her amazing painting. This is Lydia. And we have Dr. Backeritz. She brought in some lemon bars, and she also provided a recipe here. And then she also shared samples of lemon bars with us. And then Rose is Dean Godwin's administrative assistant, and she is a short story author and a poet. And so she shared her poetry, and here are the two poems that she shared. And here are the names of everybody that participated. When I'm going to make this smaller because or actually maybe your ribbon, my ribbon is blocking it. So I'm hoping that you can see how we collected the information from people. Was we just asked them to give us their name, the item that they wanted to present at the All Things Art show, the first College of Pharmacy art show, and then what it is that they wanted to present. That way we could create the accommodations for them to present adequately. And it was just really exciting to do this. I've made this PowerPoint, this slide, Factors of Success. And really, I put quotes in success because what is success? And success is, to me, it's when we, it could certainly be what we meet, but in this case, it exceeded what we envisioned. When we were at the art show, people were asking me, or they weren't asking me, they were just saying, oh, I never knew that this could be presented. Next time we do this, I'm going to present this. And so it wasn't even a question of, are we going to do this again next time? People were already envisioning a next time. We consider this a success because it definitely reinforced belonging in an authentic, fun, and engaging environment. in a professional environment. It had so much positive energy, a lot of emotionally positive experiences. It was very personally fulfilling, and it was really fulfilling to be seen personally in a professional environment. And we didn't need metrics for that. And so that was the exciting part about it. I'd like to share this poem with you that Rose wrote, and then I'd like to open up the session for discussion. I'm making this smaller so that way I can see the whole thing, because I'm having trouble seeing it with the ribbons on my screen. So I'm going to read this to you. And this poem, when it was read before the session opened, it really stimulated a lot of discussion with the person who wrote it and the person who read it. We selected a different person to read it. And then also other people had commented to me, and we heard lots of comments about, wow, I'm really surprised that Rose feels this way about belonging. And if she feels this way, who else feels this way? And no type of conversation could have come across that way in just the authentic manner that it did. So I'm going to read this to you, and then I'd like to open up the floor for discussion, questions, comments, anything that you would like to share. So this is a poem written by Rose Williamson, A Million Miles Away. I sit right here. My body is present. My mind is not. I hope that you will leave me alone. I could daydream. My daydreams have turned to nightmares. I keep it all inside. This is where I can hide myself far from you, far from the pain you inflict with your words, with your looks. Safe, if only for a minute. I stay quiet as a mouse. I watch and wait for my chance to escape. The nightmare is never ending, or so it seems. There is a light that has not penetrated my darkness. I see it. I cannot reach it. I call out for help. The call is only in my head. I have not spoken. One day I will find it. What I'm searching for, the answer to the question, the place for me. One day, but not today. So I sit here. My body is present. My mind a million miles away. And if anybody is clapping, you can clap, because I think Rose is an amazing writer. I'm going to stop sharing now, because really I want to use this time more so as a way to reflect on things that maybe each of you are doing in your programs or each of you are doing in your personal life. Because a sense of belonging is so incredibly complex. It is individual, and as individual as each of us are, and it is as important in every organization, as important as each of us are. And so I will stop talking. I'd love to hear comments, questions. I'm going to look at the chat. If you can take time to do that too,
Yeah.
in case there's something here that needs to be said.
Krista, just a huge, deep gratitude and appreciation for, like, it's just so, I don't know, just touched me, right? And just, it was amazing. And that poem was just, I don't know, just made me very tearful, but, just powerful, and how beautiful that she shared that and you all had conversation, and this just really powerful and impactful. And again, another way I loved that the indicators of success, or what you put there. And no, these are other ways that we share and celebrate. And it's like who we are, right? In our identity and how we belong within an academic setting. We don't always have to have the metrics. And yes, we will absolutely and would love to do this, HSC wide, and start looking at this across the way. I think it's an incredible way to connect in different ways. So your team, Dean Godwin, and all of you, just, the College of Pharmacy team, thank you so much for that. And I'll look forward to, like I mentioned to you a little bit, Krista, Melissa, and Rethison, and Laura Hall and I had been talking and had some ideas, and I had wanted them to really learn about this as well. So thank you for that. I'm going to open it, of course, turn it over back to you and the rest of the group, and I think Dean Godwin too, but thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So it's Don Godwin. I just want to say, thank you to Krista, the DEAI committee. When she and another faculty member came with this idea, I was 100% supportive, because, we need to be able to see each other at the College of Pharmacy and the HSC, if this decides to, expand as people. I mean, we're faculty and staff, and, there's supervisors and there's subordinates, but we're all people. And I really do think that, this showed a lot of the talent. And I was really happy that people started saying, well, next time, I'm going to do this, because we actually have a lot of people who have musical talent. And, and Krista and I kind of figured out later that we said all things art, we should have specifically pointed out, musical talent is absolutely art as well. And come and play your guitar or your keyboard. We actually have two faculty members are 2/3 of a rock and roll band. So we have a guitar player and a drummer. So we're going to rock next year. But it really was. And again, I will admit that the ice cream truck was my idea, because I am a big kid at heart, and it was fun. They were even playing the little ice cream man music as you were going down to get your ice cream cone. I had a strawberry shortcake bar, just to let you guys know. It was awesome. So I felt like I was 12 again. But it was just a really good. Again, I want to give full credit to Krista and and her team, including Rose, who set up everything. And we only used the second floor of Domenici, but I think next year we're going to use the first and the second floor, because we're going to have musical acts on the bottom floor.
I see Dr. Flagg on the call here. So I want to recognize that I got to read his writing because it was on the table. And let's see if I can, it was on, I want to share it, because the artwork was done by a College of Pharmacy individual. And I'm not screen sharing, am I? So let me screen share, because I want to. Okay, I'm pulling it up. Here it is. So right here, right smack in the middle, this is his book. And she did the artwork in his book. So I thought that was really neat collaboration.
Dr. Salazar and Dean Godwin, thank you so much for sharing the incredible talent from the College of Pharmacy. I truly appreciate all the comments and all the comments that were made in the chat as well. So this reminds me of when I was with the Graduate Resource Center. I was serving as the Assistant Dean of Graduate Studies, and we received a U.S. Department of Education grant, and we developed the Shared Knowledge Conference, and we highlighted the talents of our scholars. And what you all have showcased today is truly a demonstration of the inclusive excellence that we all share at the Health Sciences Center and at the College of Pharmacy. It's absolutely a tribute to the College of Pharmacy that you're showcasing the diversity of our scholars and the many facets that they bring to the University of New Mexico. So I want to thank you for the beautiful presentation.
Thank you so much, Lawrence. I appreciate those words. Your encouragement is very heartfelt, and I appreciate you.
Krista, is there anything planned right now? I remember the energy at the event, like was said a few different ways, was we need more of this, and how art, maybe does some of the very same work that this IEC group and everyone working toward DEI work on our campus is about. Is there anything planned? And if so, can other entities get in if it is a COP kind of planned event?
So there isn't anything planned right now. I do know that we were planning on doing it again for the Staff Appreciation Day, but my hope is to maybe do something this coming spring, if possible, but I haven't talked to anyone specific to make that happen. And the reason why I'd like the spring is because I'd really like to begin to fold in the students as well as other health sciences programs. And so maybe we can work toward this for the spring.
Yeah. And again, I think just for those who may not have heard before, we're having some conversations with HISLIT, Melissa and Laura and the group, and working like to, talk with Krista and some others again who might be interested in doing something HSC wide as well. I mean, this is like such an incredible model and great session. And of course, College of Pharmacy will continue to do, everyone's excited for their next, the second year of this, but it really would be something very special, I think, to help bring this together as the health and health sciences. So yeah, I'm very excited about it. Lots of good comments in the chat there too. So lots of people are putting things there. I know they can maybe could share if they wanted to say it out loud as well, but some really nice comments in the chat.
And what's really exciting, the comments I'm seeing is offers to help to do a spring event. So I'm writing down the names. And thank you for those who are putting names of the artists. I'm happy to share this document with everyone. The acknowledgement and the names are at the last slide too. So that way you can see whose art was what, belonged to who.
Absolutely beautiful and uplifting.
If there are others who are interested in being involved in organizing events, I will watch the chat. Please either private message me or all group message me so I can begin to make the list. Thank you. Not saying we're going to hold one in the spring because I haven't officiated that, so that's a hope. So, but if I have names, then we're starting somewhere, right?
Yeah. Well, thank you again, Dr. Dominguez Salazar. This was very special and I think very uplifting for all of us, right? I mean, like, wow, going into the afternoon with that and the rest of the week. Thank you so much. And yes, please continue to email or contact Krista, and we'll see what we can, going forward. We're just excited to continue to support in any way, and looking forward to what comes next. Thank you for that. And again, thank you to everyone here for what you do each and every day and your leadership here and participation as part of this Inclusive Excellence Council. So I think we're giving everyone almost 2 minutes back. So that's really special. Woo! And again, thank you. Thank you all. And Dr. Salazar, thank you. Have a great day, everyone.